This is Mr. Eugene, and today we're talking about a classification system every man needs to understand. Because when you're dating in your 30s or 40s, the women available fall into three distinct categories, and two of those three categories will absolutely destroy your life if you commit to them. The problem is that all three types present themselves similarly. All three claim they're ready for serious relationship. All three talk about wanting marriage and family. All three perform traditional femininity when they're trying to secure commitment. But underneath the performance, these three types are fundamentally different. They have different histories, different motivations, different capacities, and different outcomes waiting for the men who marry them. Most men cannot distinguish between these types. They see a woman who's interested, who seems stable, who talks about commitment, and they assume she's a good prospect. They don't investigate deeper, don't recognize the specific red flags, don't understand which type they're dealing with until it's too late. By then they're married, legally bound, financially entangled, maybe with children, and they're discovering that the woman they married is fundamentally incapable of being the wife they thought they were getting. Today I'm breaking down all three types, the specific characteristics of each, the red flags that identify them, the outcomes each type creates, and which type, if any, is worth committing to. Stay with me. This classification will save some of you from catastrophic mistakes. Type 1. The born-again virgin, the most dangerous. Let me start with the most dangerous type, the one most likely to destroy your life while appearing to be exactly what you want. Who she is, the born-again virgin, is a woman who spent her 20s and early 30s being promiscuous, high partner count, casual relationships, hookup culture, sexual freedom, minimal standards, maximum access. She gave her youth, her beauty, her sexual enthusiasm, her best years to men who never committed to her, often to men who were significantly higher value than you, men who had options and exercised them. Now she's 35, 36, 37, 38. The attention has dried up. The high-value men have moved on to younger women. Her fertility is declining rapidly. Her appearance is fading. Her options have contracted dramatically. And suddenly she's ready for something serious. She's done with games. She's looking for a good man. She's ready to settle down. The transformation performance, watch what she does when she decides it's time to lock down a provider. The transformation is dramatic and completely artificial. She starts dressing conservatively. The revealing clothes disappear. The modest, traditional presentation appears. She's covering up now, looking respectable, signaling wife material. She starts talking about traditional values, family, marriage, children, stability. She mentions cooking, mentions wanting to be a supportive partner, mentions appreciating a man who leads. She distances herself from her promiscuous past, minimizes her partner count, lies about her history, presents herself as someone who's always valued commitment, but just never found the right man. She performs femininity, makes effort in the beginning, is pleasant, agreeable, accommodating, shows you the version of herself that will get you to commit. This performance is strategic, calculated, temporary. It exists to secure commitment, and it ends the moment commitment is secured. The red flags. How do you identify a born-again? Virgin, here are the specific markers. Massive disconnect between her past and her present. Her social media history shows years of party photos, revealing clothes, attention-seeking behavior, casual dating, but now she presents as traditional and modest. The transformation is too dramatic to be authentic. Vague or defensive about relationship history. When you ask about her past, she's evasive, gives vague answers, gets defensive, accuses you of being judgmental, won't provide specifics about partner count or relationship patterns. Friend group doesn't match her current presentation. Her close friends are party girls, career-obsessed women, promiscuous women. None of them are traditional wives, but she's claiming she wants traditional marriage. People's friend groups reflect their values. Hers don't match what she's claiming. The timeline is too convenient. She started wanting serious relationship exactly when her options contracted. At 35, when fertility is declining, when male attention decreased, when high-value men stopped being available. The timing reveals strategy, not transformation. She talks about finally understanding what matters. This language reveals she's operating from loss aversion, not genuine growth. She didn't develop values. She lost options and adjusted strategy accordingly. Minimal accountability for past choices. She doesn't take genuine responsibility. She blames previous partners, blames culture, blames circumstances. Real transformation requires total ownership. Performance involves victimhood and blame displacement. What happens if you commit? If you marry a born-again virgin, here's the predictable pattern, the performance ends immediately. Once she has commitment, the modest dress disappears. The pleasant demeanor disappears. The traditional values disappear. You get the real her. The entitled, difficult, damaged version she was hiding. The bedroom dies. The sexual enthusiasm was never real. She was never genuinely attracted to you. She was strategically securing provision. Once she has commitment, sexual frequency drops to minimal or zero. The resentment surfaces. She resents that she had to settle for you. She resents that the men she actually wanted didn't commit. She resents her declining options. And that resentment gets directed at you daily. She cannot pair bond. Years of promiscuity damaged her bonding mechanism. She cannot attach to you properly, cannot be satisfied, cannot stop comparing you to previous partners. The marriage is unstable from day one. She becomes impossible to live with, critical, demanding, entitled, creating drama, making your life miserable. Because you represent her failure, her settling, her lost youth, and she punishes you for it. Divorce is likely, the statistics are clear. Women with high partner counts divorce at rates exceeding 35 to 40%. You have better than even odds of divorce within 10 years. And you'll be destroyed financially when it happens. The born-again virgin is the most dangerous type because she's the best at hiding what she is. The performance is convincing. The presentation looks exactly like what you want, but it's all artificial. And you discover this after you're legally bound. Type 2. The career-first woman, the delusional one, the second type is less intentionally deceptive but equally destructive in different ways. Who she is, the career-first woman spent her 20s and early 30s focused on professional achievement, education, career building, financial independence, professional status. She delayed relationships, delayed marriage, delayed children, told herself she had time, believed the cultural messaging that women can have it all, just not all at once, figured she'd build career first, then add family later. Now she's 35, 36, 37. Career is established, income is solid, professional status is achieved, and she's ready to add the relationship piece. The problem is that she never developed relationship skills, never learned how to be a partner, never learned to compromise, never learned to submit to masculine leadership, never learned domestic skills. She's been independent for 15 years, autonomous, self-directed, answering to no one, making all her own decisions, living life entirely on her terms, and now she thinks she can simply add a husband to this life while changing nothing fundamental about herself. The delusional expectations. The career-first woman has completely unrealistic expectations about what marriage requires from her. She expects to maintain complete career focus while also having family, doesn't understand that children require sacrifice, that being a wife requires investment, that you cannot excel professionally while also excelling domestically. She expects him to be equal partner in everything, equal housework, equal childcare, equal emotional labor, while she maintains career that's equally demanding as his. She wants 50-50ths in everything without understanding that traditional division of labor exists for reason. She expects to maintain her independence, her autonomy, her self-direction. Doesn't understand that marriage requires interdependence, requires considering partner, requires compromise. She has a mental checklist for a husband, height requirement, income requirement usually equal to or exceeding hers, education requirement, career status requirement. She's approaching marriage like job search, looking for candidate who meets specifications. She expects him to simply fit into her established life. She's built a complete existence, career, friend group, hobbies, lifestyle. She wants a man who slots into this without requiring changes from her. The red flags. How do you identify a career-first woman? Here are the markers. She's 35 plus and never been in long-term relationship, not because she couldn't find anyone, because she deprioritized relationships for career. This means she has zero experience being a partner, zero practice at the skills marriage requires. She emphasizes her career achievements constantly. In conversation, she leads with professional identity. Her career is central to her self-concept. She cannot imagine life where career isn't primary focus. She has very specific requirements for a partner. Her list is long and inflexible. He must make X income, must have Y education, must be Z height. She's filtering like HR manager, not selecting like woman seeking husband. She talks about finally being ready to add relationship. The language reveals she sees relationship as addition to complete life, not as foundation for building life together. Her lifestyle is completely independent. She's built entire life solo. Her home, her routines, her friend group, her activities. Everything is structured around her autonomy. She has no space for partnership because her life has no room for another person's needs. She expects 50-50ths in everything. She talks frequently about equality, about splitting everything evenly, about both people maintaining careers and sharing domestic duties. Doesn't understand or accept traditional gender roles. What happens if you commit? If you marry a career-first woman, here's what unfolds. She cannot submit to your leadership. She's been her own leader for 15 years. She cannot accept your authority, cannot defer to your decisions, cannot follow. Every decision becomes argument about equality and her right to equal say. She cannot prioritize family over career. When career demands conflict with family needs, career wins. When her job requires travel and kids need her home, she travels. When promotion requires 60-hour weeks and marriage needs attention, she works 60 hours. She resents domestic expectations. If you expect her to handle majority of domestic duties, she's furious. That's not what she signed up for. She has career, household should be 50-50ths. But 50-50ths means neither person does it well and family suffers. She cannot give you traditional wife benefits. She's not cooking regular meals, not maintaining home, not creating domestic peace, not supporting your leadership, not prioritizing your needs. She's being an autonomous individual who happens to live with you. Children destroy the marriage if they happen, because children require sacrifice she's unwilling to make. They require someone prioritizing them. She won't sacrifice career. You're already working full-time. The children get neglected or outsourced. The marriage becomes logistical coordination, not partnership. She becomes bitter about biological reality. When fertility issues arise because she waited too long, she's angry at her body, at biology, at unfairness, at you somehow. The resentment from consequences of her choices poisons everything. The marriage becomes roommate arrangement, two people living separate lives in same space, coordinating schedules, splitting bills, having occasional sex, no actual partnership, no traditional marriage, just cohabitation with legal and financial entanglement. The career first woman fails at marriage because she fundamentally cannot prioritize it. Her identity is professional. Her focus is career. Her skills are independence. She lacks the fundamental capacities that traditional marriage requires. Type 3, the divorced with baggage, the broken one. The third type carries the most obvious visible damage, but is often underestimated in how destructive that damage is. Who she is, the divorced with baggage, is a woman who was married before. The marriage failed. Now she's single again, usually with children from the previous marriage, often with substantial bitterness about the ex-husband. She's in the dating market claiming she's ready to try again, ready to find the right partner this time. She's learned from her mistakes. She knows what she wants now. The reality is that she's the product of relationship failure. She either chose poorly the first time, or she destroyed a marriage through her own behavior, or both. Either way, she carries that failure into any future relationship. And she usually carries children, financial obligations, ongoing contact with ex-husband, and significant psychological damage from marriage failure and divorce, the baggage she carries. Let's enumerate what she's bringing to a new relationship: children from previous marriage, you're inheriting stepchildren. All the costs, time, and emotional complexity I've covered in previous videos, instant family that's not yours. Ex-husband permanently in the picture, he's the father of her children. He'll be calling, texting, coming by, involved in decisions, present at kids' events. You're sharing your woman with another man indefinitely. Financial obligations, she likely has child support arrangements, maybe alimony she's receiving or paying, maybe debt from the divorce, maybe underwater on assets that were split. Financial messiness that becomes yours. Psychological damage from divorce. Divorce is traumatic. It leaves damage. Trust issues, bitterness, cynicism, fear of commitment, fear of vulnerability. Patterns of conflict that destroyed the first marriage and will likely destroy yours. Divided loyalty, her children come first. Always. You're secondary. You're the new man. They're her babies. You get whatever attention and resources remain after children are handled. Comparison to ex-husband, she's comparing you constantly. Either you're better than him, which means you're cleaning up his mess, or you're not as good as he was in certain ways, which means she's settling in those areas. Unresolved anger. Many divorced women carry intense anger at their ex-husbands. This anger bleeds into new relationships. You become the target of residual rage from her previous marriage. The red flags. How do you identify whether a divorced woman is worth considering? Here are the critical questions. Why did the first marriage fail? If she takes zero responsibility, if she blames him entirely, If she presents herself as pure victim, she either lacks self-awareness or she's lying. Either way, avoid. Real accountability sounds like, I chose poorly. I ignored red flags. I contributed to the problems. How does she talk about her ex? If there's still intense emotion, rage, or obsession, she hasn't moved on. She's still emotionally entangled. You're entering a triangle, not a partnership. How long has she been divorced? If it's been less than 2 to 3 years, she hasn't processed the failure, hasn't healed, hasn't done the work, she's rebounding. You're the rebound relationship. What's her custody arrangement? If she has kids full-time and ex is minimally involved, you're taking on nearly full stepfather role, maximum burden. If it's 50-50ths, you're dealing with constant ex-husband involvement. Neither is ideal. What's her financial situation post-divorce? If she's financially desperate, you're the bailout. If she's financially comfortable, that's slightly better. But watch for her using money as control. Has she done therapeutic work? If she hasn't been in therapy processing the divorce, learning from it, addressing her contributions, she's bringing all the dysfunction into your relationship. What happens if you commit? If you marry a divorced woman with children, here's the pattern. You're always compared to her ex. Every difference between you and him becomes comparison. He was more 10th, you're more Y. She's evaluating constantly whether trading him for you was upgrade or downgrade. The children resist you. You're not dad. You're the man who replaced dad. Some children never accept you. Some actively sabotage the relationship. You have no authority but full financial responsibility. The ex-husband creates constant problems. He undermines you with the kids. He creates conflicts with her. He uses children as leverage. He's part of your household dynamic whether you like it or not. Her psychological damage surfaces. The trust issues appear. The commitment fears appear. The conflict patterns that destroyed the first marriage appear. She's bringing the same broken person into your marriage. She cannot fully bond to you. Part of her is still attached to her ex. Part of her is protecting herself from future hurt. Part of her is focused on her children. You never get all of her. You're cleaning up another man's mess. You're providing stability she lost in divorce, supporting children he fathered, dealing with consequences of choices they both made. You're the cleanup crew for their failed relationship. Divorce is even more likely. Second marriages fail at higher rates than first marriages. 60 to 67% of second marriages end in divorce. You're more likely to divorce than stay married. The divorce with baggage woman might seem like safer bet because she has marriage experience, but failed marriage experience. She's demonstrably bad at marriage, and that's what you're inheriting. The comparison, which type is least destructive? All 3 types are problematic, but let's compare them directly. Most dangerous, born again, virgin. The born again virgin is most dangerous because the deception is most intentional. The performance is most convincing. The pair, bonding damage is most severe. The bait and switch is most dramatic. The resentment is most intense. She literally cannot be the wife. She's pretending to be. This type should be avoided completely. The risk is too high. The damage is too severe. The performance is too artificial. Second most dangerous, career first woman. The career first woman is second most dangerous because she fundamentally cannot prioritize marriage. She lacks the skills and mindset. Marriage requires she cannot submit to masculine leadership. She will not sacrifice career for family. The marriage becomes roommate arrangement. Children get neglected, if they happen. This type should also be avoided by men wanting traditional marriage. She cannot provide it, doesn't want to provide it, will resist providing it. Least dangerous, divorced with baggage. The divorce with baggage is least dangerous only by comparison because at least the problems are visible up front. At least you know what you're getting. At least she has marriage experience, even if failed. At least she might have learned something, but she's still a terrible option. The baggage is real. The damage is substantial. The ex-husband is permanent fixture. The children create massive complications. She's the least bad option of 3 bad options. But least bad doesn't mean good. Is there a 4th type worth pursuing? Here's what men are really asking. Is there a type of woman past 30 who's actually a good marriage prospect? Yes. But she's rare, very rare. The genuinely late bloomer, she exists, but she's maybe 5% of single women past 30. She's characterized by low partner count, 0 to 2 previous partners, maximum. She preserved her pair bonding capacity by being selective and relationship focused. Relationship focused in her 20s. She wanted marriage in her 20s, pursued long-term relationships, just didn't find the right match, not because she was too picky, but because of genuine incompatibility or circumstance. No children, she doesn't come with baggage from previous failed relationships. Traditional values consistently held, her values now match her values throughout her 20s. This isn't recent conversion, this is long-standing belief system. Genuine accountability, if she had previous relationships that failed, she takes full responsibility for her part. No victimhood, no blame displacement. Reasonable expectations, she's not filtering men through impossible checklist. She understands what she brings to the table and has proportional expectations. Feminine skills developed, she knows how to cook, how to maintain a home, how to support a man. Not performing these things to catch a husband, actually possesses these skills because she values them. Willing to follow masculine leadership, she's not fighting for equality and control. She's comfortable with traditional gender roles. She wants to be led by a good man. How to identify her? The genuine late bloomer is identified by consistency. Her current presentation matches her historical pattern. Her friend group reflects her values. Her social media history shows consistency. Her relationship history shows selectivity, not promiscuity or avoidance. She's not trying to convince you she's changed. She's showing you she's been consistent. She's not desperate, she's selective. She's been selective, which is why she's still single at 33 or 34. But selective in healthy way, not delusional checklist way. She takes accountability without defensiveness. She can discuss her past openly, can explain why previous relationships didn't work, can identify what she learned, can show growth without claiming transformation. She's not performing. She's being. The traditional femininity isn't new presentation. It's long-standing identity. You can verify this through her history. The problem. The genuine late bloomer is so rare that most men will never encounter one. For every one genuine late bloomer, there are 20 born-again virgins pretending to be her. And distinguishing between them requires investigation, time, verification, looking at history, not just presentation. Most men don't do this work. They see a woman who seems like what they want, and they commit without verification. Then they discover they married a born-again virgin performing as late bloomer, what men need to do. If you're a man dating women past 30, here's your strategy. Investigate thoroughly, don't accept her presentation at face value. Investigate her past, her relationship history, her social media history, her friend group, her values over time. Ask direct questions about partner count, about relationship patterns, about why she's single now, about what changed if she's claiming change. If she's defensive, evasive, or accusatory when you ask, that's your answer. Walk away. Verify consistency. Everything she's claiming now should be verified in her history. If she claims traditional values, her past should reflect traditional values. If she claims she's always wanted marriage, her 20s should show relationship focus, not career focus or promiscuity. If you see dramatic transformation, it's performance, not authenticity. Require accountability. She should take full responsibility for being single at her age. If she had failed relationships, she should own her part completely. If she chose career over relationships, she should own that choice and its consequences. If she's blaming men, blaming culture, blaming circumstances, she's not taking accountability. Walk away. Consider younger options. The harsh reality is that women past 30% in the dating market are mostly the three types I've described. The good options married in their 20s. If you're a man with options, consider dating younger, 25 to 29-year-old women. Before the damage accumulates, before the desperation sets in, before the performance begins, you'll get better odds, less baggage, better bonding capacity, more genuine attraction. Walk away from bad options. Don't accept bad options because you're lonely or feel time pressure. Don't marry a born-again virgin because she's performing well. Don't marry a career-first woman hoping she'll change. Don't marry a divorced woman thinking you'll succeed where her ex failed. Bad options are worse than no option. Stay single rather than committing to catastrophic choice. Final thoughts. The three types of women past 30 are: Type 1, born-again virgin, promiscuous past, performing traditional present, cannot pair bond, most dangerous. Type 2, career-first woman, professional focus, lacks relationship skills, cannot prioritize marriage, second most dangerous. Type 3, divorced with baggage, failed marriage, children, ex-husband, psychological damage, least dangerous, but still terrible. All three will destroy your life in different ways if you commit to them. The genuinely good option, the late bloomer with low partner count and consistent traditional values, is so rare that most men will never find her. Your best strategy is investigation, verification, accountability requirements, and willingness to walk away from bad options. Don't let loneliness, social pressure, or biological clock panic make you commit to women who cannot be good wives. The three types I've described cannot be good wives. They lack the capacity, the history, the skills, or the motivation. Protect yourself by understanding what you're looking at, by distinguishing between types, by recognizing red flags, by investigating thoroughly before committing. And remember, staying single is better than marrying the wrong type. These three types are the wrong types. Avoid them. Drop a comment. Men, which type have you encountered? Which type did you marry if you made that mistake? Subscribe for the classification systems that help you avoid catastrophic relationship choices.